Hi, it's Mel, and this is How We Homeschool. This is going to be our last in our video series that we've been preparing for you, and this is going to be, I apologize, sort of a catch-all video. So the first 5 videos were on, let me see if I can remember now. First 5 videos were classical curriculum, Charlotte Mason style, Montessori method, school at home method, and unschooling was number 5. So this video is going to be basically discussing a few of the less popular options or the general eclectic style of homeschooling. So eclectic style is just slightly less controversial than unschooling. It's generally just a pick and choose method. An eclectic style is typically very common in families that have homeschooled for quite a while. They've had chances to try out different methods, try out different styles, try out different books and curricula, and they've sort of felt their way forward in terms of what works for each particular kid, especially. So it's just, in general, pick and choosing or building your own curriculum according to the strengths and weaknesses in your particular household. It's not as overwhelming as it sounds, although if you are first starting out, it might not be the first thing that you choose. It's not usually something that we choose to do from the get-go. It's just as we grow and change, as we learn what works for us and what doesn't, we tend to veer off in that direction. There are other styles too. I know a lot of people who really love the Waldorf or Rudolf Steiner method of education. I know several people that have their children in Waldorf schools, and they are excellent. The only reason I didn't mention it in its own video is that I think in general it sort of already has portions in common with other methods that I've already mentioned. So Waldorf education is something that really is very child-led, and they have a very strong emphasis on imagination and free thinking and the importance of exercising your imagination and engaging the child mind in whatever they're doing. In the early levels, it's primarily like experience-based education, and even in the older grade levels, they tend to rely much less on textbooks. It's very strong in the arts, so if that's something that interests you, if you want your children to be active and outside in nature and also be experiencing music and art and drama and storytelling, this could be a very good fit for you. So that's the Waldorf education method. There are also a few alternative styles of education that typically have more to do with like situational things rather than anything else. So there are things like travel homeschooling. Travel schooling is essentially, well, it is what you make of it, but it's essentially like a very long succession of field trips. So travel schooling could look like the parents both take the year off and decide to just road trip with their kids, like around the country, or it could be that you conveniently live or can visit an area with a lot of like historical sites, for example. Like if you lived on the East Coast, you might actually find it very convenient to visit sites that are pertinent to the American Revolution or to the Civil War or any number of other options. And in that case, you might actually choose to visit those sites to give your children like a sort of walk through history type of experience. I know a few families that have gone on like an extended road trip to go, out west, learning about Native American architecture, learning about the deserts, and learning about battles between the United States and Mexico, learning about the history of Texas and the Alamo, learning about the history of Yellowstone even. Yellowstone is pretty fascinating. It's incorporating those types of more engaging field trips as the learning experience itself, and it's generally with the idea that a child will remember things better if they have an actual association to an experience as opposed to just memorizing facts. So that makes a particular degree of sense to me. Okay, so those are just some ideas for what you can do. None of them are really required. Like I said, a lot of us pick and choose from whatever various methods are available to us at the time. But I hope this is enough to at least get you started. All right. Thanks, you guys. And remember, this is how we homeschool.